Good evening. This is X. Tonight's discussion is going to be about the wealth inequality in America. The effects of income inequality has found to include within those communities higher rates of health and social problems and lower rates of social goods and a lower population wide satisfaction and happiness, and even a lower level of economic value. And it's strictly because the 1% has gobbled up the majority of the wealth of this country since 1990. So when X speaks of distribution of wealth, I don't mean a handout or a socialistic nation. The reality is, up until 1990, we were able as a middle class, and even some people in the lower class, were still able to attain a lifestyle. What I mean by a lifestyle is purchase a home, own a car, those things. Take a vacation once a year. These were things that everybody in the neighborhood was able to do. And I grew up in a very poor neighborhood. I also grew up for a limited amount of time in an affluent neighborhood. And it was very different in the terms that there wasn't such a gap between the rich and, say, the middle class. There was a gap, and there should be, but the gap was a much closer gap, and that's what we got away from. And if you look at the numbers from 1990 till today, that number for the 1% has grown in an immense rate, an accelerated rate, like a rocket ship. And the sad part is the middle class and the lower income has dropped. Actually, lower income has gained somewhat a little bit, but it's very minimal. The charts all show it, the graphs all show it, the statistics are showing this. Again, as X has told you, he will show you the facts. I'm not on any side on this. This is just the reality that we are living in. This is the reason why X says we can change this. You have the ability to change this. It was just announced yesterday that Bank of America is now raising the minimum wage to $21 per hour at their bank. Now, that's not even close to what the numbers should be, but the fact of the matter is, it's a reality that it happened, and it's a trend that could possibly take off if the other banks follow. I personally think Wells Fargo should pay $100 an hour to their employees, since they not only stole from their employees, but they stole from their customers, not once, not twice, not 3 times, 6 times. Wells Fargo has stolen money from either their employees or their customers. why they're in business today and why people give them their money, it's bizarre to me. You should invest with Bernie Madoff. But what I'm here to try to get you to understand is that if we continue at the rate that we're going, you will have a future that would be the equivalent of a 1% of a population will have all the amenities possible. I'm talking about the best health care, the best vehicles, the best homes, the best clothing. Everything will be on a separate level, and there will be the middle and lower income classes will actually be lower level people and looked upon as that within society. It's inevitable. And you will have almost a situation where if the uber wealthy wanted to, say for example, wanted to just cut off a portion of America because they have so much wealth and so much land and everything else, they could literally carve out their own separate country. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's a reality that we need to look at. And so for the only way for this to come back is for everybody to get a fair shot. Again, you're going to still have your millionaires and you're still going to have billionaires. It's just not going to be someone who's worth $108 billion. That is insane. I'm sorry, but if you are worth $108 billion and you are not feeding the starving children in this country because you can, and it wouldn't even put a dent in what you are earning, then that's what my whole point is. That's not what human beings are supposed to be doing. That's not what we're here to do, is to just gobble up every single human thing that we can get our hands on and then take it to ourselves. Yes, you're entitled to your house, your homes, your cars. Listen, Jeff Bezos isn't going to have to sell his however many homes he owns to pay to feed every starving child in this country. And I'm talking about every single one. That should outrage you. I don't know why as so many parents out there. I'm a parent. Why are you not outraged? Why is it that a high school will build a football stadium? Millions of dollars on a football stadium. A high school. One that probably wins 2-3 games a year maybe. But they won't put metal detectors in the doors to protect your children. They won't build doors that are like jail cell doors that lock, where you have an interlocking chamber that you have to get buzzed through. Again, common sense. You need to just think of these things, and there's a reason. It's not because they can't afford it. It's not because they don't want to do it. It's because they just don't care. People have lost their way. I mean, I'm not a pot-smoking hippie either. You'll be surprised at who X is. But I'm sorry. It's appalling to watch the greed in this country and the way that people are treating each other. Whether it's because of their political stances or whether it's because of the way they dress or whether it's the way they want to be presented to the world or the way that they want to have their sexuality. Who the fuck are you to determine that for another human being? Does someone come to your house in the morning and tell you what you can wear and what you can do and what you can think? And you target the most vulnerable people. And the wealthy are doing the exact same thing to the middle class and to the poor. You have people like Joel Osteen, for God's sakes. If you're a Christian, a man who is supposedly a man of God, I don't even know his net worth. I don't even want to look it up because I'll probably throw up. We have that happening. People running there, giving their life savings to these idiots, believing that it's going to get them into heaven or buy their way into heaven. When the reality is, if you read your Bible or Quran or any religion, doesn't matter. They all say the same thing. That the Savior or the person that you believe is going to be your judgment at the end is going to spit in your face and say, are you insane? You people are horrible. Hell's not even good enough for you. You're committing every deadly sin daily. And it's no big deal. But I'm not religious. X doesn't care. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy of what we've become as a nation. One nation under God? That's an insult if you believe in God. I'd be pissed. I'm an atheist. It doesn't matter to me. I think it's ridiculous that I have to pay taxes on money that says, in God we trust, on the dollar bill. God didn't make that dollar bill. God didn't make my mortgage payment. And he certainly is not going to make yours. And I guarantee you, if your kid's sick or you need help, you're not going to sit and pray on your knees. You're going to call 911. But back to the main topic here, because I want to keep this short tonight, is if this doesn't stop, if we don't get a hold of this and we don't start saying no to these CEOs and saying no to wages that are shit, and stand together and build some type of a union, but not where it's separated out by this union and that union. Everybody should just be collectively together on all issues. And everybody will get their way. Then you're going to have the bad people that are going to try to take advantage. But believe me, when police officers and the community are making money that they actually deserve to be paid for? Do you really think we should be paying football players hundreds of millions of dollars and firefighters around 70 grand? You think that's right? I mean, I wouldn't even go to your house to put your fire out for that. I'm sorry. Those people, I don't know what to classify them as. They're just people who want to help. There are people like that, like X, who wants to help. We need more of that. And not because of a paycheck or because of notoriety. We just need to do it so that everyone in this country has an opportunity to just have the shot. And to also not be humiliated by working 40 hours a week at a job and having to either find a second job at night or not being able to pay the electric bill that month so you can eat groceries or whatever. X has been on all sides of it. I've been on the lowest side of it, and I've been on the high side of it. Not too high, but pretty good. And the one thing that I always thought in the back of my mind was, if I can help somebody in need, if I can, give somebody something, that doesn't have to necessarily mean money. My God, if you see somebody on the side of the road, they're struggling with their tire, stop and help to change their tire. Not everyone's a serial killer. Honestly, I just think we really got to get to more of a humane way to deal with each other. But this is X, and I'm trying to create something more radical. I need you all to come together. This needs to happen. I'm telling you, there is peril right around the corner. It is 1 year away. November 2022 is going to be bad. So I beg of you, keep watching, keep listening, Google, learn, challenge me. X will be here. X will do his part.